And the Open Club Men's Fours Championship of Australia is now underway. In lane 2, Adelaide Rowing Club, Alexander Sills, Thomas Stewart, George Fuchs, Dennis Hartung, Andy Randell and Hus Lindet-Meyer, the coaches. Lane 3, Powerhouse from Victoria, Nicholas Hanjaroo, Drew Holman, Conrad Tullock and Shane O'Connor-Smith. Lane 4, Canberra, Joseph Gubler, Gerard Kennedy, James Edwards and Michael Cusack. Chris Polichannon, the coach of that crew. University of Western Australia, Tom Atkinson, Dave Dennis, Alexander Payne, Thomas Mears, coaches Roland Warren and Casey Cobb. Dave Dennis, a member of the Australian Men's 8 in Beijing in 2008 that finished 6th. And in lane 6, Banks, Matthew Ridgeway, Tim Masters, James Redhead and Jack Macciolli, coached by Nick Lloyd, and they're the early leaders, and they're on 38 strokes to the minute, the early leaders. And the crew from Adelaide right there with them, about a half a length back in the early stages. Alexander Sills, they're on 37.5 strokes to the minute. So the two crews on the extremities, and they've got some names in them: Matthew Ridgeway, Tim Masters, James Redhead, Jack Macciolli. Certainly a couple of those boys were in contention for selection in national teams last year. Alexander Sills has certainly been in contention in the past as well in the Adelaide boat. University of WA with Dave Danger Dennis in it, and they're currently in 3rd place. He was in the Australian Men's 8 that finished 6th in Beijing. That crew he's in is working their way through the field, along with Powerhouse, one of the oldest clubs in Victoria, based on the Albert Park Lake, and they're doing okay. And the crew to drop out of it is the Canberra crew, coached by Chris Polichannon. The Open Club Women's 4 Championship of Australia, the result is now official. 1st, Sydney University. 2nd, Adelaide. 3rd, Melbourne Rowing Club. Time 7:06.87. The margin 2.44 by 3.30. And it is that crew from Banks with those promising athletes: Matthew Ridgeway, Tim Masters, James Redhead and Jack Macciolli that leads. They've settled down now to about 35 strokes to the minute. Their coach Nick Lloyd's got an impressive record in schoolboy rowing in both Victoria and New South Wales over the last 3 or 4 years, and he's putting the polish on this crew, working out of Banks Rowing Club. And this crew is showing all of that expertise that Nick Lloyd's been able to put in them as they row along beautifully. He's coaching at Melbourne Grammar School also, Nick Lloyd. So a busy man in the coaching ranks. Adelaide in Station 2, coached by Andy Randell and the German Hus Lindet-Meyer. Andy Randell has been a member of the Australian coaching team for many, many years, and last year set up shop here in Adelaide, having lived in Sydney for many years, where he's a very successful coach, now working at Prince Alfred College. So these coaches working at both club and school level, and the Banks crew just very polished. And you can see they're a crew that's tandem rigged on the bow side, so that's what Nick Lloyd's worked out is the best rig for that crew. They're settling down to 34 strokes to the minute, and through the 1,000-metre mark they've got 2 lengths lead over Powerhouse. So it is the Victorians 1st and 2nd, and the University of Western Australia holding down in 3rd place. So Nick Lloyd in this crew, he's worked out to get the boat to go straight, he needs to have the stroke and the bow on stroke side, and 2 and 3 tandem rigged on bow side. Every crew that comes down, you'll see potentially a different rig. We may even have some 8s later with tandem rigs, but quite common in 4s rowing. And this crew of Matthew Ridgeway, Tim Masters, James Redhead, Jack Macciolli, they got out of the blocks very, very quickly. They established an early lead, and they're just starting to tire a little, I'd suggest to you. They're on 33.5 strokes to the minute, and they're just getting a little short and choppy in their work. The crew from Powerhouse got the job in front of them, but they're not giving up. Shane O'Connor-Smith, the stroke of that crew, holding his crew together nicely. They've got a couple of lengths to catch up on the crew from Banks. They're on 34 strokes to the minute, Powerhouse, and it's a long time since we saw a crew from Powerhouse on the dais at the Australian Rowing Championships. Adelaide down on the inside station, Alex Sills, Thomas Stewart, George Fuchs, Dennis Hartung. They're holding on to 3rd place as narrowly as the University of Western Australian crew. Tom Atkinson, Dave Dennis, Alexander Payne and Thomas Mears, challengers, and probably holding 3rd narrowly from Adelaide. And the only crew out of the medal contentions at the moment is the crew from Canberra, coached by Chris Polichannon. Banks on the far side all by themselves. They must be lonely out there. They've got a big lead. As the crews nearest to them are well back behind them. The crew that's second is way over on the other side of the course on 33.5 strokes to the minute. The crew from Banks Rowing Club have led all the way. Just losing a little form, I'd suggest to you. But they've put in a terrific effort in the first 1,500 metres of the race and have moved well clear. They're 35.5 strokes to the minute. The second crew, Powerhouse, trying to pull back Banks, but Banks have got the lead well and truly, and they're clear of Powerhouse in second place. And third now for the bronze medal, the all-important battle there, University of WA and Adelaide Rowing Club, stroke for that third place. Powerhouse starting to tire now as the early effort from Banks has spread-eagled the field. The crew from University of WA lifts to 36.5 strokes to the minute, and they've taken the bronze medal clearly away as Banks will record a big win in the Open Club Men's 4 Championship of Australia. Banks Rowing Club will be first. Powerhouse Rowing Club from Victoria will be second. University of Western Australia will be third. Fourth will be the tiring Adelaide Rowing Club crew, and fifth will be Canberra Rowing Club. The winning time, pretty smart, 6:19.3, 6:19.3 for Coxless Fours. We saw the Coxless Four Championship of Australia won in 6 minutes 11, and we had 4 Olympic gold medals in that boat. So a good time there to the winning crew from Banks Rowing Club from Melbourne.
Medal presentation for the club's Men's 4 Championship of Australia 2011. The medals will be presented by Tim Hughes, representing Hughes PR, a sponsor of the 2011 National Championships. In third place, and winners of the bronze medals, representing the University of Western Australia Boat Club, Tom Atkinson, Charles Ravine, Alex Payne and Tom Mears. The coaches, Roland Warren and Casey Cobb. In second place, and winners of the silver medals, representing Powerhouse Rowing Club, Nicholas Andrew, Drew Holman, Conrad Tulloch and Shane O'Connor-Smith. And the 2011 champions and winners of the bronze medals, representing the Banks Rowing Club, Matthew Ridgeway, Tim Masters, Alex King and Jack Macciolli. The coach, Nick Lloyd. Now, a lot of strength in the Banks Club at the moment. What's behind the resurgence of Banks in recent years?
I mean, last year, after we finished 09, we had a lot of the, normal kids go from Scotch College and Melbourne Grammar. They usually head on to Melbourne Uni or Mercantile. And our first day coach, Nick Lloyd, was asked by Paul Guest to sort of research the Banks, I suppose, youth program, because they had a lot of masters and not a lot of youth guys. So it's been pretty fun, just researching it from the ground up last year and then continuing on this year. So,
ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate the medalists in the Champion Club 4 of Australia 2011.